Hey, 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 you're waking up with Craig.
Good morning on Thursday, November 22nd. Today is Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. We're going to start with our morning quote as usual. If it doesn't matter who wins or loses, then why do they keep score? Vince Lombardi. Last night, Duke fell to Gonzaga 89-87. And joining me now, brother Storm Gibson, dad Craig Gibson. Dad, what'd you think of the Duke game last night?
A complete West Coast bias as far as officiating. There were multiple fouls down the stretch. It didn't get called. There's no doubt who the officials wanted to win that game. White should have gone to the line. Barrett should have gone to the line. They just did a great heart by Duke coming back. They just didn't want Duke to go undefeated.
Now, do you think Duke can fix these problems, and do you think they're still the favorite to win the national championship?
Absolutely. The array of talent they have is absolutely unbelievable. They'll fall a few times on the road to some tough ACC teams. They'll have some losses throughout the season, but nobody wants to play them in the tournament.
Now, college basketball is just starting to get underway, but college football and the playoffs is right around the corner. Who do you think is the number one team in the nation?
There is no doubt that Notre Dame is the number one football team in America. They don't play the Citadel or UMass or any of these other Sally teams. They go after the best teams in the country. They embarrassed number 12 Syracuse at the time last week. Notre Dame is the best football team in the country right now.
Now, the last 3 weeks we've had the college football rankings, and Alabama has been number one unanimously by 25 committee members. What do you say to those committee members?
It's like the incumbent. Just because they've always been there, they want to keep voting for them. Are they not watching the games? Ian Book has a passer rating now of 165.5. He has one of the highest completion percentages. Clark Lee has got our defense rolling. We completely stifled that tough Syracuse team. We are the best team in the country right now. Dexter Williams can't be stopped. Boykin, Claypool, Finke. What a triumvirate of receivers we have. Notre Dame's the best football team in America.
Now, I can't believe you said that. And I love Notre Dame. But as the playoff sits right now, Notre Dame would play Clemson in the first round. How do you think that game would go down?
3-touchdown win for the Fighting Irish.
You can't believe what you just said.
Yes. All they have is a good defensive line. We'll throw the screen pass. We'll bust it on some zone reads to Dexter Williams. We're just going to take that short game. Buck's going to get it out of his hands right away. The ACC is weak. The Fighting Irish will bust Clemson up.
Now, our defense this year has been playing better, but how do you think they handle the rookie or the freshman, Trevor Lawrence?
They'll be in his face all day. They'll disguise their coverages. He'll never know, is that corner blitz coming? Is it going to be 5 or 6 or only 3? And drop them. And don't forget Drew Tranquill. He is that senior that's tough as nails, one of the top defensive players in the country.
So you're not worried about Clemson or Alabama at all?
No, Julian Love, he will shut down any receiver they throw out there. Notre Dame has all the answers.
Now, we switch from college football to the NFL. Who is your Super Bowl favorite right now?
It's the Patriots and the Saints. I don't even know why they're going to have the rest of the playoff games. They could go right to the Super Bowl. It's Patriots and Saints, two best teams in the NFL.
Joining us now is Storm. Storm, who is your Super Bowl favorites right now?
I have neither in common with him. I have to go Chiefs and Rams after seeing that absolute brawl between them on Monday night.
So
One of the best regular season games I've
So you
ever
don't
seen.
think they need to have a defense to play in the NFL?
I think
you can just play offense and win
the
a
Chiefs,
Super Bowl?
I think the Chiefs
What
can
is
outscore.
wrong with you?
I think the Chiefs are so good on offense. I think Patrick Mahomes can outscore any team in the NFL.
He's going to have to.
I think
They could put a
the
traffic
Rams
cone
have a
out
great
there.
defense, so they can take down the Saints. Probably a better offense than the Saints, I would say. And I think it's going to be Chiefs-Rams, and I'm going to give the edge to the Chiefs.
All right, outside of the top 4 teams that you guys said, the Chiefs, the Pats, the Rams, and the Saints.
Hold on. Do we remember the score from when the Saints played the Rams? Does anybody have that score? Because I think didn't the Saints win
Yes,
that
the
game?
Saints won the game. All right, outside the top 4 teams, do you see who do you think's the next favorite to make it to the Super Bowl or has the best chance? Dad, who do you think?
The Steelers are starting to play with a chip on their shoulder a little bit. They may have a shot, but other than that, there's nobody out of those top teams. It's Patriots and Saints. It's a done deal.
Storm, who do you think?
I definitely don't see anyone else between Saints and Rams coming out of the NFC, so I have to go to the AFC, and I'm going to go with the Chargers. I think the Chargers are better than the Pats, so I'd take them over the Pats, definitely, if the Chiefs take a hard loss.
Dad, what do you think about that comment?
The only thing I could say is if we could get Francis Asbury Tarkenton back, the Vikings might have a shot. Cousins is scaring me. He's getting too many passes knocked down, but there is part of me that does like the Vikes, that the Vikes could come together.
Now, I watched the Chargers-Broncos game the other day, and I was high on the Chargers until they fell to the Broncos. And I think that the Steelers are starting to get it together. They had a late comeback against the Jaguars. So I think the Steelers, out of all those teams, probably have the best chance, especially with the Bengals falling apart, the Browns. So they are going to make the playoffs. The team they beat the other day, though, was the Jaguars. And Blake Bortles said he couldn't care less about critics. Eye on Super Bowl. Dad, is the Jaguars a real possibility of making it to the Super Bowl?
I think by eye on the Super Bowl, he means he's going to be at Buffalo Wild Wings watching the Super Bowl on a big screen TV, and he's going to have his eye right on the Super Bowl. The Jaguars have no chance of going to the Super Bowl. They'll be golfing on Super Bowl Sunday.
Storm, what do you think about the Jaguars? Do you think they have a chance to make it to the Super Bowl?
A quote coming from Blake Bortles means absolutely nothing to me. They ran that ball 80% of the time in that game. They handed that ball to Leonard Fournette because they can't trust Blake Bortles because he's an idiot and he's terrible. He is an awful quarterback. We don't even know if he's playing every week. He's not an every week starter. So him giving a quote means absolutely nothing to me.
So let's get into the games tomorrow. We got the Bears at the Lions. First game on Thanksgiving. Trubisky is not going to play. Dad, what do you think is the score and who do you think is going to win that game?
I think the Lions win this one, 24-20. Without Trubisky, he saved their butts the other night, running the football. They're not going to have him. I wish Kerryon Johnson was playing because he's on my fantasy football team, and he's killing me right now by not being in that game. But I think Patricia wins this one at home.
Storm, who do you think?
I also have the Lions. I have them 24-14. I think Trubisky is the heart and soul of that team. I think Nagy can get 14 out of the Bears, but I think that's it.
I have the Lions a little bit higher scoring, 27-20. The Bears lose to the Lions because I think Chase Daniels is just not a good quarterback. We move to the second game, Storm, and I'm going to start with you here because this means a lot in your division. The Redskins at the Cowboys. What do you see happening here?
I got to go for the Redskins here. I think the Redskins are going to lose a lot of games down the stretch for the injury due to Alex Smith. Feel bad for the guy. But I need the Cowboys to take a loss here because I think the Redskins are going to take some losses down the stretch.
What do you got for a score?
I got 21-10 Cowboys, but I won't be cheering for them.
I got Cowboys 21, Redskins 17. I think this game is going to be closer than a lot of people think. I just don't think Colt McCoy has had enough time with the offense to get them where they need to be. Dad, what do you got for a score?
I think it's going to be 3-2. These are two of the worst teams in the entire NFL. I'm hoping the Cowboys come up big because I'm an Amari Cooper fan with fantasy football. But who's playing? Who's playing quarterback for the Redskins tomorrow?
Colt McCoy.
And if Colt McCoy gets hurt?
I don't know. Maybe
Mark
Sanchez.
Mark
Yes.
Butt Fumble Sanchez? Seriously, why is this game on national television? Besides me being able to see Amari Cooper, I don't understand why it's on national television.
Now, Ezekiel Elliott said Amari Cooper is the missing piece. Storm, is that true or not for the Cowboys?
I wish it was true. Amari Cooper's also on my fantasy team. I had a sliver of hope in his first game for the Cowboys, but I don't think he's the missing piece. I think their whole offense is ran through Zeke. I don't think a couple weapons for Dak's going to make any difference.
I don't think he's the missing piece yet either. I think he's a stepping stone in the right direction, but I don't think he's the missing piece. Do you think Amari Cooper, Dad, makes the missing?
I think they should give him the ball every single time. Run him a little jet sweep, put him in motion, and run option to him out of the backfield. Amari needs to get the ball a lot
You do
more.
realize that football does not revolve around your fantasy football teams.
Hey, if only one person's going to be happy, I just as soon it be me.
We move on to the late game, and might be the best game of the night. The Falcons at the Saints. Storm, what do you got?
I got 33-28 Saints. I think their defenses are both shaky and their offenses are both good, so it's going to be high scoring. But I see the Saints coming out on top.
And I have the Saints 42, Falcons 31. I think the Falcons keep it close for the first half, but Drew Brees' offense is just too much for them to handle late in the game. Dad, what do you got for a score?
I got 45-24 Saints. I think the big thing we have to ask ourselves here, Sean Payton's a really good coach. Why is Taysom Hill going in at quarterback when the ball's inside the 10-yard line? You have Drew Brees, one of the best quarterbacks in the history of the game. He might be third. Francis Asbury Tarkenton, number one. Tom Brady, number two. Drew Brees might be the third best quarterback ever. Why is Peyton taking him out down there? Let Taysom Hill return punts, play a little bit of wide receiver. He should not be taking reps away from Drew Brees.
Now, are you upset because the Saints offense hurts from him taking reps, or you're upset because Drew Brees is on your fantasy team?
Completely, because it hurts the team. You know me. I'm all about the team.
Unbelievable. All right, Storm. Give me one fantasy star you're looking forward to seeing, one breakout star you're going to see on Thanksgiving Day.
Looking at the matchups, I only see about 3 fantasy relevant guys within Julio, Zeke, and Drew Brees. And I think Brees has the biggest day out of all of them. I think he can take advantage of that Falcons defense. I think he'll have a couple touchdowns and a good amount of passing yards.
Dad, what's a breakout star you're seeing?
I think Michael Thomas makes the statement tomorrow that he's better than Julio Jones. Michael Thomas is going to show him up on the late game tomorrow. He's going to get it done.
I think Zeke has the best day just because the Cowboys are going to be up and they're going to pound the ball in the second half. Storm, kind of going on top of this, what's one bold prediction for Thanksgiving that you see coming true tomorrow?
Not saying I believe this, but making a bold prediction. I say Bears and Skins both win without their starting quarterbacks for the start of the season.
So you see it as a possibility tomorrow.
I think it could easily happen.
Dad, what do you got for a bold prediction tomorrow?
I think the Lions are going to win and mess up their draft pick. So it's just going to be they're not going to make the playoffs. They're going to come in last. Now they get a little worse of a draft pick.
And I think that the Lions beat the Bears by 17 or more points. I think Matthew Stafford is going to make a statement game, and I think he is going to pound it on the Bears tomorrow. Now, going on top of the Bears, Bo has predicted a collapse for the Bears. Storm, do you see a collapse coming?
To me, that's all in Trubisky's hands. Obviously not playing this week, I think they take the L, but with him at quarterback, I think they won't collapse. I think he has control of the offense, and I think he can take the Bears as far as he'll go.
Now, I think they still have the Rams, the Packers, and the Vikings. That is a tough stretch coming up.
I only see them losing to the Rams. I don't think the Packers or the Vikings are a threat.
Wow. Really? Even the Vikings at home, week 17, if it is a NFC North title on the line.
The Vikings have proved nothing to me.
The Giants have proved nothing to me. That
the Vikings will pound the Bears in week 17. That game won't even be close. I don't know if I'd call it as a collapse as much as the Bears are just going to be what they are, which is probably a 9-7 team.
All right. Storm, Tyner has said that the Giants are going to run the table. Can they run the table?
Drew Tyner is top 1 smartest people I know. He is a genius. I think the Giants have a great shot at running the tables, claiming the division.
You know you're delusional as well as him, right?
I think they can do it. I think the offense is finally clicking. Saquon had 3 touchdowns. Odell had a touchdown. Eli's playing out of his mind, completing most of his passes. Good amount of yardage, not making many mistakes. I think the Giants have a good chance, especially with the division falling apart.
Dad, do you think the Giants can run the table?
I love Drew Tyner like he's a son, but he has concussion symptoms right now, and he just is not thinking clearly. The Giants are terrible. They're an embarrassment. They're one of the biggest jokes in football. Saquon Barkley being there, my heart breaks for the guy. He is a star in the making, and he's part of a circus right now. No, the Giants can't run the table.
Storm, what's your response to that?
All I know is we've never lost a Super Bowl to the Pats.
Wow, that's a little touchy subject right now.
That's all I remember.
Now, Dad, do you think the Giants' issue is a leadership? Do you think Odell is a good leader?
It's the offensive line. The offensive line is absolutely killing them until they get some quality linemen up front. It doesn't matter who's in the backfield, but Odell is not a good leader. He's selfish. He's not about his team. He was like that at LSU. No, he's not a good leader.
Storm, what do you think about that?
I think that is pure bias. He has no idea what he's talking about. He might have not watched one Giants game all season. Odell is top 5 most passionate players in the NFL. I guarantee it. He might not tell people what to do or anything, but he's going to go out there. He's going to give 100%. He'll give you a touchdown, 100 yards every week. He's going to go dominate because he wants to win.
Now, before we end the show, Dad, is there anything you're looking forward to this weekend? Thanksgiving coming up, or any future games, Notre Dame and such, or anything coming?
Notre Dame USC is the biggest game of the weekend. It is going to be electric. USC, their coach is going to get fired. They can't make a bowl. They just want to make their whole year by upsetting the number 1 team in the country, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
How much do you think Notre Dame wins that game by?
Notre Dame is going to win this game by at least 4 touchdowns. USC is going to put up a good fight for the first minute and 29 seconds. And then after that, it's going to be all Fighting Irish.
Storm, is there anything you're looking forward to or something you see happening down the stretch?
I'm excited to see Redskins Cowboys. I want to see if the Redskins can pull one out without Alex Smith and hopefully change some ways in the division, open something up for the Giants.
All right, Storm, Dad, happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for joining the show. Everybody out there have a safe and happy Thanksgiving, and keep on balling.